What's up, book besties? Welcome to another episode of She's All Books, where we dive into the raddest reads that will totally blow your mind. Grab your favorite drink, kick back, and let's chat all things books. Because life's too short for boring stories. Ready? Let's get this book party started. Welcome to this exciting episode of She's All Books. Here with me today, book besties, is author Melissa Grace of Coming Home, and that is the latest release and I think the final book in the Midnight in Dallas series that Melissa has published. Thank you so much for joining me, Melissa.
Thanks for having me.
I am super excited to dive in. I have so many questions ready for you. A lot of questions are coming from my Hype Squad, so I can't wait to dive into those. But before we get started, and really deep dive into you as an author, a person, into the book, can you give the viewers who might be new to learning about you and your books just a high overview of what Coming Home is about?
So Coming Home is about the last member in the Midnight in Dallas band who has officially, spoiler alert, broken up. And so he is the lone wolf standing, and Mr. Lucas Sterling has disappeared from his friends' lives just out of the blue, and nobody can find him. They think he's traveling, but what they don't know is that he is hiding the fact that he's really struggling with his mental health. And so it's really about his journey of learning how to deal with depression, not only like getting diagnosed with depression, but also with dealing with moving forward and how that journey is never a linear journey. And then, of course, he meets the perfect match in Mackenzie, who has some mental health struggles of her own.
That's awesome. And it's fun, in a way, ironically, that we're recording this during Mental Health Awareness Month, because I have like a mental health background, like in my day job. So it's always enjoyable when authors like bring that realness to their books and those like very, very vulnerable struggles and just reality that we're all facing. So I always love to see readers connect with authors and personally connect with authors and the characters that they write. Around mental health. So that's awesome
me too.
That is incorporated into this book, and I definitely appreciate that as a reader. Okay, so before we go dive even deeper into Coming Home, if you're new to watching or listening to She's All Books, I clearly have a millennial nostalgic vibe to
love that elder millennial here. So
good. Millennials, welcome. Even Gen Xers and Gen Zers, we welcome you too. But I like to deep dive into books and authors using a paper fortune teller. My good friend right here. So if you are new to this origami doodad, it's not going to be used in the traditional sense for this interview, but just for fun, I have 8 questions that correspond with the numbers 1 through 8, which is hard to see for someone, but I'll make sure I read them out loud. And those questions are specifically for Melissa, and it's just a fun way to guide our conversation, bring back some of that nostalgia, even though we have to fudge it a little bit to make it work for the show. So, Melissa, are you ready for some paper fortune teller?
Yeah, let's do it.
Awesome. Okay, so your color options are orange, green, yellow, or pink.
Pink.
Pink. All right. Pink. And your number, oops, my fingers don't really stretch that far. Your number options are 1, 2, 5, or 6.
Well, it's the book 5, so we have to start with 5.
Book 5, here we go. Lucky number 5. All right. As you mentioned, Coming Home is in the series Midnight in Dallas. And can you tell the readers a little bit more about the series? I know, and you kind of touched on it already, that it's an interconnected series, but can you tell them about like how the series came to be, maybe a little bit about the characters who have little cameos in this book that are from the previous book of this?
So the Midnight in Dallas series is about a rock band called Midnight in Dallas and the amazing women that fall in love with them. And it all starts with a backstage meet and greet with our very first couple, Liv and Jax. Jax is the lead singer of the group, and he's also the youngest member of the group. And Liv at the time is 37 and he is 29. So
Good age gap
she,
there.
you know, is like, oh no, am I too old? No, absolutely not. So that's where it all starts. And then you have each character kind of meeting through this connection with Liv and Jax. So you have Liv has a best friend named Ella. Ella connects with the manager, Cash. There is a girl named Katie that works at the bakery that Liv owns, and she brings in another person. Like there's so many people that are brought in through other people. And it's just kind of the way real life is, you know, like that's how we make our connections, meeting through other people. Like I found you through my friend Jen.
Yes,
So,
exactly.
you know, there's always that kind of connection. So yeah, it follows this band and all of the characters with the exception of Jax. As far as the main characters are all over 30, some in their early 40s. I really love writing for my my time period, I guess.
Yes.
I like no shade to the books about the characters in their 20s. Love that for them, but
Of course. Yeah.
I just really enjoy a little bit more of a seasoned romance and characters that have some baggage, and my characters definitely have that. So
I love that. I love those like realistic, like perfectly imperfect. I love the 30-year-olds, like obviously, or the in the 30s characters.
Yes.
It's fun to read those. Yeah.
I love those characters. And I love to put real life issues in my books. I have a hard time writing anything other than that. And I think maybe that's just maybe it's a reflection of my own life. For example, book 4 has a character that has a chronic illness in it. And I have a chronic illness, so that's very near and dear to me. And in book 5, you know, it's very mental health oriented. And again, that's something very important to me. I struggle with anxiety and depression. I am very neurospicy, and a term that I just learned today, neurosparkly. I was like, yes, I am neurosparkly as
I
well.
love that. I always am describing our household as a neuro-spicy household. We have a combination of my daughter's nonverbal autistic, my son's ADHD, my husband's ADHD and OCD, and like we have it, and then I have the anxiety piece as well. So I'm always using neurospicy, but I am now very interested in neurosparkly because I think
right.
I
love that term.
Yes, I love
that.
That is awesome, and like, not to echo again, but it's just as readers, I feel like when you feel like you've been seen in the characters and by the author who's writing the book, it always brings that extra level of connection. And, or at least for me, I guess I can't speak for every reader, but I love it. And I absolutely get excited when I can get my hands on a book that's just raw and real, and relatable for sure.
Yes, definitely.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Okay. Pink, green, orange, or yellow?
Yellow.
Yellow. All right. YELLOOW. 3, 4, 7, or 8?
Let's say 8.
8. All right. Question number 8 is a question that I absolutely love to ask because I love to find connections with authors, but I feel like it's probably the least favorite among authors to get asked. And that is, what are 3 things about you that readers might not know? It's like that typical icebreaker question that's like, ugh, but I love it.
Okay, let me think. So I used to be a nail artist. That was my last career. Well, yeah, it was essentially my last career before I became an author. So I did like the Pinteresty designs and stuff, like the really intricate stuff. That was what I did. It was brutal on my body, but I absolutely loved it. And so many of my friends that I have now are because of that business, and I'm still, keep contact with so many of them. What else? I used to be a part of a Walking Dead fan podcast that did really well. I got to interview some of the cast members. Fact number 3 is I am terrified of those dancing windsock things. You know, like the ones outside like car washes. Oh my God, I hate them. I hate them. Oh,
The
Ugh,
worst. Yes. Ugh.
they just freak me out. They're so unpredictable. Like, what if you're walking by one and it's
Yeah.
just like, ah, at you?
Exactly.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
I can totally see that. I this morning was walking. I do mental health walks every morning, and I was walking by a Halloween um, prop that when
Yeah.
it was huge and tall, it had to be like 10 feet tall at least. And when you
Oh,
walked by, it moved, and
nope,
I was like,
nope,
not expecting that in daylight. Like that's something like
no.
at night. Yeah, it was pretty frightening. I'm not gonna lie. I'm sure somebody's ring camera picked me like just jumping back and getting caught off guard by that.
Oh,
Well, I can relate. Now I'm gonna be thinking about that. I'm like, am I afraid of those too? Maybe I am. And I just never realized it.
it's like a really random one, but oh my God, those things freak me out so much.
I love it. That is so funny. Let us know if you're watching or listening to this in the comments if you too are freaked out by the how did you describe the sock?
Dancing one socks.
Yes, yeah. Let us know.
I hope somebody else is because it would make me feel a little bit better.
There could be like a formal phobia for it and we don't even know. There could be
Right?
an actual like term out
There
there.
should be.
I'm sure it's not just you or us. Orange, green, pink, or yellow?
Orange.
Orange. All right. Orange. 1, 2, 5, or 6, but you already answered question 5. So 1, 2,
6.
or 6. You said 6?
Yep.
Okay. Question number 6. What are your favorite tropes to read? And what are your favorite tropes to write?
Favorite tropes to read. I love forced proximity. Of course, a he takes care of her scene is one of my like micro tropes that I just love to read and write, honestly. What else? I love fake dating. It's one I've never written, but I love to read it. It's just a blast.
Yes,
Yeah, for sure.
I love that. He takes care of her. I'm like, as you say that, I'm thinking I have not read many He Takes Care of Her books in general. Also, I think that's like my love language is feeling like somebody is like, taking care of you. Like that is because you're always taking care of everyone. It's like, that is such a good love language. So
I love
is that
those.
acts of kindness? Is that the actual like love language term? I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. Orange, green, yellow, or pink?
Green.
Green. All right. GREEN. 3, 4, or 7? You already answered 8.
7.
7. All right. Question number 7. Speaking of tropes, what are some tropes and microtropes, if you have those in mind, don't worry if you don't, that readers can check out today, watch as soon as they watch this episode, and coming home?
Yeah. Okay. So I have 2 black cat personalities, which I love that. I love that. I mean, give me grumpy. I'm all about it.
Yes.
And they're not like so grumpy. Once you get down to their core, they're little cinnamon rolls, gooey and ooey and perfect. Love that. Let's see. So 2 black cats. I've also got a he takes care of her scene, which I really love. It's one of my favorites in the whole book. Actually. Awesome. What else? Let me think. Of course, mental health representation.
Yeah.
And a celebrity trope because that is a former-ish rock star, but maybe it's not the end for him, you know?
Awesome. I love those tropes. It sounds amazing. Also, if you are in the audience of this episode, let us know which of those tropes or microtropes are your favorite. Exciting. Okay, so speaking of black cats, also on my walk this morning, and I posted to my stories, I am just like hell bound. I'm gonna get a black cat. I want one so bad. I want the whole personality like, in real life too. And my dog though would never ever let me bring one home. So one day I'll have a black cat. But this morning I was on a walk and right by the house that had the thing that jumped at me was this like black cat that's just like hissing at me. I'm like, you are the vibe, and I would pick up and take home with me if I didn't think you'd call my
cat is the moment.
Yeah. Like, I love you. So I think I posted on. I either posted on Bookstagram or my personal.
Yes, black cats are so fun. I have one. So the cats in the book are my real cats.
Oh,
Yeah, so I actually have 3
I
cats and
love
3 dogs.
that.
But Mama, the tuxedo cat, was in book 1, and then in book 5 we bookend it and we have Earl Grey and Binks, which, I mean, the most
Being,
creative black cat name ever, obviously.
I might have
But
to steal that when I do get my black cat. That is like the most perfect name, and I never would. I mean, I watch Hocus Pocus literally 800 times every Halloween, and I never would have thought of naming a black cat Binks because dense. So, wow, I love that. Probably gonna steal that.
they're so precious, and the personalities you see from them in the book, that's exactly how they are in real life.
I love it.
Probably more so in real life.
I love
But
that.
Binks is my curious, a little bit more aloof. But also, I mean, he's very sweet once like he gets used to you. But Earl Grey is a teddy bear in a cat
Earl
suit.
Grey, I love
He
that.
is the sweetest cat in the entire world. Like he tolerate, like I say tolerates, but he seems to enjoy it. He
Yeah.
tolerates like belly rubs and kisses
Oh,
on his feet, and he just purrs the whole time. He just loves it. He loves
that
it.
is so sweet. See, like that's the thing for me. I've never have had a cat in my life. I've always had dogs growing up and everything. And I just want to get a cat that I want the sass, but I also want them to be good with like kids, and like have like
Yes.
enough of a personality where like you don't ever see them. Cause like our neighbors have a cat. It's just like hates everybody. Like I think even hates them and like just is hiding from everyone like nonstop. I'm like, I want to see them. Like, I want to see the cat. So,
Oh yes,
yeah, I
definitely.
have to make sure I have like somebody help me with the personality piece of it so I can get all the personality I
They're
want.
so fun, and they really do choose you. I mean,
Yeah.
I never set out to be a cat owner because I am allergic to cats, and yet somehow now I have 3 cats. And it just all happened because I think it was like, I want to say it was like 2019, a random like Sunday in August. I look up at my back door and there is a tuxedo cat just staring at me in the window. And I'm like, who are you? And little did I know that a month later she was going to come back with her kittens. And she was just like, we live here now.
Hi, your home
Like,
looks cozy. Thanks for inviting us.
yeah, yep. And so they've since moved houses with us. And
Oh my
yeah, it's been an
God.
adventure.
I love that. That is awesome. What a good cat owner you are. Um, pink, yellow, green, or orange?
Pink.
Pink. Pink. We have 1 or 2 left in this cluster of numbers.
2.
2. All right. Question number 2. Swishing. Oh gosh, that's something that just popped up, and I don't want it's saying it's about to restart. No, not now. Sorry. I will try to remember to edit that part out. That was very scary. Okay. About you as an author, we've now gotten to here, and I will circle back to the coming home and in books, and but I want to know, what is your writing style? Like a planning style, writing, like just anything about the writing process that you can share with us.
I am chaos gremlin. That's what I am. I don't there's no rhyme or reason. I wish there was, but it's not. I am all over the place. I will say that I do edit as I go, which is,
Okay.
according to so many people, like a big no-no, but I can't not do it. And it's why I end up having very clean drafts, because I just get it in my head. I have to fix it before I move
Right.
on.
Right.
And then it will go through like my editor, and then it's just such a much easier process at that point. I do take feedback as I go from critique partners and alpha readers.
Okay.
So it helps me to shape the story as I move, so that when I
Nice.
am editing, I don't have a lot of developmental editing, because it's really strong at that point. Because they're helping me look for anything that might be missing, or motivations that aren't coming through strongly enough, things like that. But as far as like, plotter, pantser, I just choose chaos at all points. So yeah.
Yeah. I love
Everywhere.
it. I had to learn what plotter and pantser were probably like 6 episodes into recording. So I'm like, are they saying Prancer. Like, I could not understand what people were talking about. And then I'm like, what are the differences? So finally, I was in and I kept forgetting to like research it because I was like in the middle of an interview, and then you kind of like move on and think about other things. And so finally, I'm in the middle of an interview, and I just asked the author, I'm like, can you describe to the person who has never heard these terms until recently, like, what's the difference? She was like, well, this is a plotter, and this is a pantser, and you can also be a plantser, whatever, the combo. And I'm like, oh, okay. I never would have like really figured that one out. Plotter just kind of makes sense, but
yes,
by the seat of your pants, is that where
yep.
Yeah.
That's it.
I would probably be like, I'm not an author, but if I were, I probably would be more on the pantser side than the plotter side.
I feel like I try to do a little bit of both, so I guess I'm like kind of in that middle, but it is just it's chaotic. My notes are everywhere. They're in multiple notebooks. It's just chaos. There's stuff in my phone, like I'll just put things in there and later I'm like, what does that mean actually? Like I have no idea.
I love how you incorporate your alpha readers on the process as you're writing. I know that there's a lot of different ways authors do that. I also know that some people who are watching this episode probably have never heard of alpha readers. So an alpha reader are like the readers who read the very first, like usually very rough draft of a book, and then it goes through like a cycle. And you can tell me if I'm saying this wrong. I just participated in my first alpha read, but I do know that it can be different author to author. After like a first cycle of edits after that, then like sometimes authors will do beta reads. Depending on like the shape of the book, they might skip to do arc reads after that, or they'll do like the beta edit arc. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay.
That's it.
And so I just recently participated in my first alpha read, which was so fun. I've never alpha read before, and I did it with Katie Van Brunt, and she did it how you're describing, where it was like she would write like a chapter, so maybe 2 or 3, depending on like how motivated she was, or how the creativity was hitting her, and then she released it in chunks to us, and then it was so fun. It's so hard for me because like I was like, oh my god, I love it, like this is so exciting. She's like, okay, I also want like critique, and I'm like, but it's just so good, like I just thing to tell you, like it was exciting. And then I will say, at least for me, like I could never alpha read more than one book at a time because it is time consuming, and you do want to give the author as much of your attention and focus through the process, because like they are really looking for that like help scope, like shaping the book. And so it's more work and more time consuming on the reader end doing that versus like an arc. And the arc is just is a more like close to final, like it's pretty close. There might be some errors, but if you're a reader getting into arc reading and alpha reading and all of that, just be mindful if you start alpha reading that it will take a lot of your time in a good way.
Yes, it does. It definitely does.
What is, and this is like an extra question I'm throwing in, what is your favorite part of the writing process? Like what stage?
Writing the like falling in love part, like, because I mean, like if you're talking about it in like terms of beats, so you have like your setup where you're kind of getting your before picture of what all the characters' lives are like, and like the meet cute and that kind of thing. But my favorite part is like as they're really learning more about each other, and you're getting those like first moments of it's just magical, when you're falling in love for the first time with somebody and like getting to know these little quirks about them. I absolutely love that part. It's so fun.
That is gotta be a fun part to write. It's a fun part to read for sure. So I can imagine it's fun to birth that in your brain. All right, yellow, orange, green, or pink, since I slid in an extra question there.
Orange.
Orange. I'm known to do that. ORANGE. For this group, we have 3 or 4 left.
4.
All right. Question number 4. Also, mixed reviews on this question, so we'll see where it takes you. If coming home were to be adapted on screen, do
Okay.
you have actors in mind or actresses in mind for who you would want to play Lucas and Mackenzie?
I'm trying to think. Okay, so for Mackenzie, Camilla Luddington is who I pictured, like straight up.
Okay.
But Luca was in my mind this random guy from TikTok that I saw back in 2020.
Sad.
So, I don't think that that would work. So I don't know who would be a good Luca.
And I said Lucas on accident. Luca, and I have never met a Luca book boyfriend that I didn't absolutely fall head over heels for.
Because the Lucas are elite. They're wonderful.
Yeah.
We love them.
So good.
It's so hard. Who would I pick for Luca? Um, so I'm really bad about like I'll think about actors at certain points in their career who I
Right.
think would have been good, but like they might have aged out of being
Right.
able to play them now.
Right.
But like somebody like kind of like broody, like Joaquin Phoenix, like at his like, late 30s, early 40s would have been
Yeah.
like perfect. I it's got to be somebody that's very, very broody, very mysterious.
Yeah.
So I'm curious if anybody else has any suggestions because
Yeah.
I'm
Let
all
us know in the comments because he sounds perfect for that description, a younger version of him. I'm gonna think about that too. But yeah, let us know in the comments. We want to know like who would you cast for Luca or who would you think meets that personality that Melissa just described. Awesome. Okay, so we have two more left. Orange,
Awesome.
green, pink, or yellow?
Green.
Green. All right, I gotta spell it out. Green. And would you like to answer question one? It's the last one.
Yes.
Question one. Thank you. What a great sport. Okay, question number one. Is there a special like beverage or snack that you enjoy when you're writing, like consistently or no?
I'm a coffee girl. I'm a
Okay.
Lorelai Gilmore, basically, is if you've ever seen Lorelai Gilmore, I am Lorelai.
Yes. Yes.
So I love coffee. Give me coffee in an IV. It is a jumbo coffee morning every morning.
Yes.
I love coffee. I love liquid IVs too. That's another thing.
Yes.
I love those things. Oh my God. And I love a
And we
Coke
need
Zero.
them after all the coffee we consume because
We do.
it brings
Yes.
us back to life. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I love to counteract it with a Coke Zero and just,
That's my go-to drink, and I just drank the last one with dinner, so here I am having a ginger ale, but I'm a Coke Zero girly too. Have you ever tried do you know what True Lime is? The powder?
I do.
Put it in your Coke Zero.
It's got to be an extra crispy one because it's got to have marinade.
It has to be cold in a can right out of the fridge first, and it has to go into a glass cup.
Yes.
And then first you put the True Lime, then you put the Coke Zero, and I swear to you, your life will be different forever moving forward. And I keep True Lime in my car. I keep it in my wallet. I keep it like anywhere I can because I have to have it in my Coke Zeros. Like no
As one should.
It is.
I also have to have my Coke Zero in a glass. I don't know why. It's something I have to do it. I
will even take it a step further, and I love my Coke Zero wide mouth ball mason jar, like the I don't know, what is it, a pint to the 16-ounce ones. I buy them by like the containers, and they're like so cheap and relatively, like if you think about how much it is. And those are the best, I'm telling you.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then Haley Warren is an author who I absolutely love, and she's also a fan of Coke Zero, diehard fan, and she drinks hers out of wine glasses.
I love that. I love her.
I love it. I know. I was the other day, I was like, oh, none of my mason jars are clean. I'm gonna pour this into my stemless wine glass, but she does it with stem. It's much more elegant than me.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I'm a beverage girly. Like as far as food, I hyperfixate on things for a while. So what my snack is right now will probably not be my snack in a month.
Right.
And it can be anything from like hummus and crackers to chocolate covered almonds to a
Yes.
full set of Oreos.
Yeah.
It's, you never know.
You never know. Keep it guessing. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I can relate to you on all the beverages, and I just eat whatever. When I'm thinking of when I'm working, I'm looking over at my work desk and I'm saying like, oh yeah, I forgot to bring up my coffee cup, my mason jar, my bottle of water. Like I have all my beverages that I take down with me.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I can't forget the emotional support water
Yes,
bottle.
exactly. I'm looking at my emotional support water bottle. I'm like, oh, I wish I could reach you. Yes. So gotta have your beverages. Right. Yellow, orange, green, or pink. Pink. And okay. Let's see if it ends on the right group of numbers or if I have to fudge it. PINK. It did. Would you like to answer question number 3?
Yes.
All right. Question number 3. You have quite a big following on on at least Instagram. I'm sure on other social media platforms as well. What is your favorite part about the Bookstagram community?
Oh my God, they're just so great. They're so kind and supportive.
Yeah.
You know, like my first book wouldn't have ever, I don't know how I would have ever gotten it out there if it hadn't been for this one awesome Canadian bookstagrammer, Sarah and her bookshelves. Shout out to Sarah. She was like, oh my God, I love the cover. And she, well, I was like, well, would you like to read an arc of it? Because I literally know nobody. And the next thing I knew, I was just getting dozens, I mean, truly dozens of messages because she was reaching out to people on my behalf. And
oh my God.
some of those people are still my arc readers today.
I love
that. And I mean, I've met so many great people, both on the author side and on the bookstagrammer side. And getting to connect with them online is awesome. But now I've started doing some of these conventions where people can come up and be like, this is my username. I'm like, oh my God, I know you, you know, and
yes.
freak out together in person because we're at the same place. And it's just so cool.
That is awesome and so exciting. It has to be like full circle rewarding to like have those moments happen. That is awesome. Speaking of events, any upcoming events that you'll be at where readers can connect with you?
November I believe it's November 2nd, I am at is it a novel romance? Hold on, let me look.
I would get them all confused. Everyone says, like, every single time somebody tells me what convention they're going to, I'm like, is that in Chicago? Like, I don't know why I'm always like, in Chicago? Like, yeah. I'm like,
I am at a novel romance bookstore in Louisville, Kentucky on November 2nd.
Okay.
And then on December, I think it's December 21st. Yes, December 21st, I am back in Kentucky again at Blush and Bashful Books.
Okay. Awesome. I've heard of that one too. I've only been to one, and that was Readers Take Denver. So I'm trying to get more ones to go to. That's exciting.
These are just like bookstore signings.
Like I love that. Yes. Yeah.
And then next year I have 3 appearances scheduled. I can't talk about 2 of them yet because I haven't been announced yet, but I am going to Romance Con next September in Milwaukee again.
Oh, that's awesome. Very exciting. Oh, very cool. Well, we'll stay tuned for the other 2 to find out where you will be. And if there are any viewers, listeners, audience members who are in Kentucky, let's go check out Melissa.
Yeah, say hi and get hugs.
Exactly, yes, and signed copies of her book. Books, plural. Okay, so we are now at the segment of the show where you get to pick a nostalgic game with a bookish twist for us to play. And your options are MASH, Two Truths and a Lie, Never Have I Ever, or Truth or Dare.
Never Have I Ever.
Okay, Never Have I Ever is super fun. It is also one of the most challenging ones. So I have, over the time, switched it from 5 fingers to 3 fingers.
Okay.
Because it can go back and forth for quite a while. And for those of you who are watching, this one is always such a blast to play. Never Have I Ever is like typically played in like parties or having fun with like a group of friends where for example, I would say something that I've never done, thinking, wondering, hoping Melissa has done it. And if she has done the thing I've never done, she has to put down a finger. And then we go back and forth. And then whoever is the first person to have to put down all of their fingers, they are the unfortunate losers. And then the other person wins. So that is the gist of the game. We will loosely try to keep it bookish, but that can get very hard and challenging as well. So we'll keep it just fun and casual. Yeah, so if you want, we can take time to think of a couple. If you're ready to go, we'll hop right into it. And also, you get to choose who goes first because you are my guest.
You go first.
Okay. Alrighty. I will put my fingers up. Never have I ever read a vampire romance.
Vampire romance? Oh, Twilight counts, doesn't it?
I feel like I might get a lot of hate in the comments and in my hype squad too about how I've never read or watched Twilight. But it is, I have nothing against it. I want to read or watch it. But also, like, give me your vampire rags. Like, give me what books I need to, like, dive into. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, definitely.
Melissa, if you're listening and not watching, Melissa had to put a finger down.
Yep. I got the Twilight. I was a Twilight girly. Oh my God, loved it. Okay. Never have I ever read a Stephen King novel.
Okay. I just played this with another author and they used that same one and I thought it was so random and then you just used it and now I'm like, are you guys playing a prank on me? But I've never read a Stephen King novel. Oh, so leave a finger up. I've never read one, but that is just so, I feel like, very specific. And that's so funny that you and the last person I played this with both said that.
That's so funny.
I love that.
I mean, I know like he's like one of the greatest authors of our time, but like I struggle with a lot of like the horror types of books anyway. So I'm like I love like a Riley Sager kind of moment. That I love that kind of stuff.
Well, I feel like I've seen some movies that are based off of Stephen King books, but I've never like read one of his books.
I actually don't think I've watched any of his movies either.
I feel like I'm sure I have, right? Like, I don't know. I feel like he's everywhere.
Because I've never even seen The Shining. Because I won't.
Okay,
I'm like, no, I will not. I will not do that. No, that will not be me.
Quick story about The Shining. So, not to derail us, but I'm known for that. I had to go on a work trip in last year, so 2023, and it was in Austin. And my work got us a room, or they searched around for like deals for like hotels and stuff. And the hotel that we stayed at, oh my gosh, I'm blanking right now. It'll hit me like as soon as like we move on to 2 more questions from now. But anyways, it's the hotel. I'll look that up in a second. It's haunted, like legitimately haunted. And apparently it's the hotel that Stephen King stayed in when he was writing The Shining. But The Shining is based in like snowy Minnesota. I don't know, like somewhere like super like snow. I don't know much about The Shining.
Yeah.
But he wrote it in this hotel and it's like super haunted, like crazy stuff. And then we're there and it's like beginning of October, end of September last year. And so they're doing like ghost tours and stuff in the hotel. And I just remember being like, what the heck? Why did my work put me in this haunted hotel? Like all of us are there together. And I kept like telling my boss, I'm like, you're going to like come out of your room in the middle of the night and I'm going to be sleeping in the hallway outside of your door. Like I don't do haunted, like, it was so haunted. It was like creepy, like in the bar, like you'd be like, we were having drinks at night and like, it was like one of the haunted tales, like you could feel like one of the ghost guys, like breathing on your neck.
No. No.
And like it was like 3 different brides like killed themselves in that hotel, like on the night of their weddings. Like it was just it was a lot in the same room of it was just like crazy. And I was like scarred for life. Like it took me a long time to like move on from that. And here I am a year later, clearly still traumatized from the whole experience. So you brought up Stephen King. Forgot to bring that story up in my last interview when that got brought up. But Small World.
That's so funny.
There's your ghost story right before Halloween.
Yeah.
Okay. This is why we don't read Stephen King books. All right. Never have I ever read, not like one. Never have I ever, it'll come to me 1 second. I lost one and then I didn't like the one that replaced it. Okay, never have I ever read a historical romance book.
I also have never read one.
Okay, I have one that I'm actually like looking at behind my computer that somebody sent me that I can't wait to read. I cannot wait to read it, and I'm actually going to like dive into it tomorrow.
Yeah.
But so I can't. So maybe by the time this airs, that will be a lie. But right now, it's very true.
Okay. Never have I ever forgotten to return a library book.
You got me. I have definitely done that multiple times. Never have I ever. Okay, never have I ever returned a book, a Kindle book or a physical book.
Yeah, me either. That's no. We can't do that. No.
I don't know anyone who does do that, but I didn't even know you could until recently, and I'm like, what? How? Why? Go to the library if you want to return a book.
Okay. Trying to think of bookish ones.
This is why we do flat 3 and not 5.
Definitely. I can totally see why. Have I not done? Okay. Never have I ever been to a all romance bookstore, which will change as of November 2nd.
So I have not either, but that will change for me very soon because there is one in Virginia, close where my family lives, that when I go down to visit them around the holidays, I cannot wait to go and check it out. I know a couple authors have done signings there and stuff, but I am 99.9% sure it is strictly romance books. And
oh, that's awesome.
Check it out. But yeah, so I can't put a finger down for that one. Okay. Never have I ever, I'm not going to do a low blow here. Never have I ever read a book with a black cat in it.
Oh.
Well, that was a lucky one for me. Melissa had to put a finger down.
I have not only read it, but I've written it. So
I knew you wrote once. I didn't want to be like low blow, like you just told me this, haha. But I was like, read.
No, I definitely have read books with black cats. I love them. They're so fun. Okay, let me think. I think of things that I haven't read, and that's so much smaller than what I have read.
Soon, me and everyone watching this will have to put a finger down for the black cat one after reading Coming Home.
That's right.
Yeah. With his debut, or her Beats, yeah, his debut.
Yeah. Oh my god, he's so cute. Never have I ever read a Danielle Steele, which is really surprising, and I don't know why I haven't, because I actually do have one, but I've not read it.
I know, I just looked over at my books. I don't think I have. I don't think. Let me do a quick little fact check. I would hate to lie to you, but I don't.
She is, I mean, a legend, but yeah. I haven't.
The name sounds super familiar.
I definitely have a couple on my shelf that I bought when I was in a thrift store, and I just haven't gotten around to reading them yet. So
I have not. No.
So now you have to add one too.
Yeah, I'm going to make sure I add that to my list. I'm looking, and yeah, I don't know which one I'll start with. Maybe I'll start with Never Too Late. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay. Never have I ever read a non-romance book that's more than 400 pages.
Oh, more than 400. I feel like I have. I feel like
if you've read Harry Potter, you probably have.
Yeah, I feel like I have. I know, I'm positive I have. Because I definitely read all over the board. And I'm sitting here going, there's a couple that I did via audio. I'm like, how many pages was that? I don't know. Probably a lot, honestly. Probably a lot.
I did watch all of the Harry Potter movies. For those of you who don't come at me, but I probably should read the books too. I was not a reader when I was a kid, and those came out when I was like in middle school, I want to say, maybe. Yeah. And I loathed reading at the time, so I definitely wasn't reading those. But I did watch the movies, loved them, and I do want to go to do the Harry Potter world or whatever, and Disney. Like that'd be a lot of fun. The other day, I also Googled the recipe for butterbeer. Not quite sure what it was exactly, and I'm like, I feel like I need to do like the Harry Potter thing with my kids. So anyways.
The butterbeer stuff is really good. One of my friends used to make it around this time of year, and it was so good.
Okay, I'm gonna have to try to make it. I'm scared.
So good.
It's not gonna be good or something. Like because I'll mess it up, not because it's not good. Is that your last figure?
Yeah, that was it.
Oh gosh, I don't think I've won in a very, very long time. This is very exciting for me. Sad. I'm so sorry that you did not win. I felt like a very bad host. But I literally never get to win this game, so I need to start keeping score of how many times I get to win because it's very low. Thank you for entertaining me in that nostalgic game. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And thank you for entertaining me with Paper Fortune Teller as well. Before we wrap up this fun episode of She's All Books, I will be linking in the captions everywhere that readers, listeners, viewers can connect with you and find your books. But is there anything else that you would like to share with the audience, or anything about your socials that you want them to know before I link those in the captions?
I'm Hey Melissa Grace pretty much everywhere. Keep it simple, and it's like, hey Melissa Grace. That's it.
So welcoming and friendly. I love it. Awesome.
But I love to talk to people especially on Instagram. That's where I'm the most active. I post on TikTok occasionally. I have a Twitter account, but I don't know her. I don't ever talk to that thing anymore. It's there. It exists. But Instagram is definitely where I'm the most active, and I try to always respond to messages and whatnot. I love to connect with everybody.
That is awesome. Perfect. So I hope that if you are listening or watching this episode, you will run and grab Melissa's book, Coming Home. And I know we kind of touched on this, and I should have asked this earlier in the interview, but if a reader were to just pick up Coming Home and not read the books prior to it, will they be completely lost, or is that okay? And then they probably will want to go back and read. Like, I know it's probably the better experience to start from the beginning, but they can.
It is definitely the better experience because there are storylines that do kind of carry through, and you start to see some of what Luca's going through if you are reading it from the beginning. But I've had several ARC readers that read this book as their gateway into the Midnight in Dallas world, and they had no problems. And now they're going back and reading the first 4.
I love that. Perfect. And I feel like that happens with me a lot. Like, I always try to start a series from the beginning, but there have been some that I have picked up just like middle or end, and then I go back and I read the whole thing, and it's like so addicting.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, let us know in the comments if you've read any of Melissa's books, which ones you have first on your TBR list. And until next time, thank you so much for watching this episode of She's All Books, and thank you, Melissa, for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks.
All right, book besties, that's a wrap on this totally rad episode of She's All Books. If you're digging this vibe, don't be a square. Smash that subscribe button faster than you can say as if. Want to keep the convo going? Hit me up on social media at She's All Books. Drop a comment, share your fave book, or tell me what you want to hear next. I'm all ears. And hey, if you thought this episode was all that, spread the word. Tell your besties, your mom, even that cute barista at the local coffee shop. The more, the merrier. Stay tuned for the next episode, dropping Mondays at 6 a.m. Eastern Time. It's going to be a blast. Until then, keep it real and keep on reading. See ya!